Now that we've evened out, we're going to do a second set on the side that felt less strong than the other. For me, that's going to be facing towards the left. So I'm going to go ahead and rotate. Just as before, we want to check in with that back foot, make sure we're toe in front of heel, and we want to stack up nice and tall. We want to draw that front hip back and the back hip forward, and we're going to go ahead and lower it down. We're looking for that 90-90, looking to make sure that that back knee is right underneath that back hip, front knee is over the heel, and let's go ahead and lower it down, lowest pain-free range, engage the glutes, stand back up. We'll go ahead and go 4 more. The goal is to stay nice and tall through the crown of the head. And we'll go last 2. And as you finish that last one, go ahead and stand on up and rotate back to center. All right, we're gonna go ahead and make our way down to the mat. The goal here is to come to a seated position without using our hands. I'm gonna bring my legs all the way in together. And the goal is to lower those glutes down to the floor, slowly arriving. A little more than a plop than I anticipated. But don't judge your practice where it is today. Just know it will get better with a work. All right, warming up the core, engage the glutes. We're gonna start with a partial roll down. Drawing in from that deep low belly. We're gonna roll back, finding that place where we're balancing before we feel like we need to round forward. And then we're gonna restack it back up nice and tall. Let's go ahead and do that again. Draw it back a little further this time. Big inhale here. Exhale, draw back from that belly. Rolling it down. Pause when we feel like we're going to head that way, where it feels a little sticky, a little hard to be there. And then restack it back up nice and tall. Good, keep that chin drawn in, shoulders back and down. We're gonna roll it down. Don't make your way all the way to the floor. Just make it to the point a little bit lower where it's a little bit more challenging. Shoulders are back and down. Let's take that right hand and open it. And bring it center. Left hand and open it. And bring it center. And restack it back up nice and tall. Last but not least, we're gonna make it all the way to the floor. Big inhale here. Exhale, draw it back. Shoulders back and down, chin drawn in. Slowly lower and lever yourself all the way down to the bottom. And let's roll over to our sides. Going into our sideline position, you pick the progression that feels right to your body today. You can stay low, come into that side plank position, or even into our precarious balance position, wherever it feels like your practice wants to go. I'm gonna take it all the way to the floor and take that top hand, stack it right over that rib cage, making sure the ribs are drawn over ribs and hand behind, hip over hip. Top leg is gonna fully extend. Bottom leg is gonna stay anchored, or it can fully extend either slightly forward or in line, wherever your practice feels right. I'm gonna keep it extended today. And then that top leg is going to lift and lower. You want that bottom rib to be lifted. The whole body should feel solid, like a nice lane side plank. We want to focus our work into that gluteus medius, the corners of those glutes. Our goal again today is balance. So we are going to do 2 sets, decide which is our weaker side, and then finish with a third. So let's go ahead and go 1 more. Hold it up there at the top. Don't let your hip and rib dip. Really reach it away. Tiny little lift and lower. And we'll go 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Perfect. All right, we're gonna go ahead and come into a clam. Knees bend, heel is supported, bottom inner thigh is doing the work. And we're gonna lift and lower that top knee. Thinking about staying as solid and as connected as possible. Remember, you can always revisit this workout anytime you feel your body is out of balance. I like it particularly before you do anything really challenging, such as going for a run, hiking, skiing, whatever you're in for this winter. We'll go ahead and go 2 more. And then hold it up on that last one, tiny little pulses. Draw in those abdominals, try and be long, crown of the head, through to the tailbone. And we'll go 3, 2, 1. Hold it up there. Bottom leg is going to anchor down and we're going to circle that top hip. Focusing in on the articulation of that circle. Number 3. And reverse it, take it the other way. 3, and 2, and 1. Good. Let's go ahead and let that top leg fall over. Bottom leg extends, and we're going into some inner thigh work here. So I want you to take a moment and straighten out that bottom leg and really make sure it's in line with the body. Crown of the head reaches, toe reaches the other direction, and we're gonna lift and lower. That bottom leg, as it lifts and lowers, we want to really make sure that we're using that inner thigh and not just rolling along the hips. So the box of the body should stay nice and solid and unmoving in space. We'll go ahead and go 3 more. Make sure that glute's firing to keep it in line with your body. Now hold it, tiny little lifts and lowers. 3, and 2, and 1. All right, let's go ahead and roll over onto our bellies. And we're gonna warm up our extension. So in that prone position, legs are fully extended. We wanna first draw the elbows down towards the hips to create some length through the crown of the head. Pubic bone presses forward, tailbone reaches away. Big inhale to prepare. I'm gonna use an exhale to keep my rib cage in. Exhale, start to draw those shoulder blades back and down. Push until I can't lift anymore without dumping into my low back, and slowly begin to lower. Whew. My head came disconnected from that line. Now, if you wanna make it more challenging, inhale as you lift. We're gonna exhale to prepare, keeping that rib cage in. Inhale, and start to press. And slowly lower. All right, we're gonna go ahead and press back into a quadruped position. Find a plank, and then we'll roll to the other side. Hands stacked right up over those shoulders. Hands stacked right under those shoulders. Step one foot back, then the other. And think about reaching through the crown of your head. Heels in one direction, crown of the head the other. And we're gonna lower ourselves down into 3 tricep push-ups. And 2, planks get easier when our swan extension and our core get stronger. 1 more. We have the ability, and set those knees down, to really connect from front to back. And you can give yourself a nice good stretch here. And let's go ahead and flip to the other side. Laying in that side lying position, find the same progression that you used on the other side. Tailbone is in line with the crown of the head. Top leg fully extends. Okay, if you wanted to extend that bottom leg forward or in line with your body, go for it. And we're going into that lift and lower. Remember, we want that bottom rib to stay lifted and lengthened. Core is engaged. Hips are squared, shoulders are squared. Chin is drawn in. Abdominals are engaged, shoulders are back and down. And we'll go 3 more. And 2, just finding fluidity in the movement. Hold it up there. Tiny little lifts. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those legs together. Heels are connected. Bottom knee is going to support you. Top leg lifts and lowers. Really find that deep glute med here. Now at this point, I want you to try and decide which side felt stronger and which side do you think needs a second set. I can already tell you that this side does not feel as strong as the other. So this is where I'm going to do my second set. And then last one, Separate those knees. Bottom leg stays anchored. 3 circles in each direction. And 2, and 1, and reverse it. 3, and 2, and 1, and then go ahead and let it fall forward. Bottom leg extends. In that nice bottom leg extension, I want you to think about drawing the crown of your head towards one direction, tail to the other, and lift and lower. Now, if you've decided that both sides felt relatively even, and you're not going to be working out an imbalance, then you're going to want to do half of the second set on one side and half the other. So we're going into a glute burnout, if you will, meaning that if you can no longer keep it into the right space, you're going to call it done and rest. Otherwise, you're going to keep going. We're going to do 40 leg lifts, so you can always do 20 and 20. Last one, and go ahead and set it on down. All right, so now we're going to extend. Come to your weaker side. Again, I'm staying on this side. If you need a moment, roll over to the other and really try and lengthen. All right, let's go ahead and go into that lift and lower. So 40 doesn't seem like a whole lot as far as reps go, but it really can be a lot as you're working your weaker side. If you're not feeling it in the right place, go ahead and tap that muscle. Neurologically, tapping on where you want the focus will help bring your brain's attention to that space. And I'm really feeling it there. And you can externally rotate it a bit, whatever feels right to you. And this is my first 10. So 10 of 40. If at any time you stop feeling it in that glute med, that's when you pause. You take a break, you rejoin in with me. And this is 14. We're going to hit this 20 if you're going to even out because you did not feel an imbalance or a big difference. After we're done with about 4 more, you're going to flip to the other side. We're going to take a quick break. And 2, I'm starting to lose that glute. And 1, good. Go ahead and take your quick break. Roll to the other side if you felt even. If you need to, remember you can always do a clam. It's a shorter lever version that will isolate that muscle. All right, let's go ahead and go into our last set of 20. This will finish us out for today. Make sure that leg is in line with your body, and let's go into that lift and lower. For me, I'm starting to feel it in the hip and IT band. This muscle has gotten too fatigued, so I'm going into clams instead. So you do you. Find that connection in your body and work through that connection. Even in the clam, I'm feeling a really good burn. In fact, it returned to the gluteus medius and out of the hip and out of the IT band. And it may look tiny, but it's still working. And then this is 30 there. I've got 10 more. 10 more, then we're gonna stretch. You can do it. You can do anything. Again, take that break if you no longer feel it in the right place. I'm starting to transfer now again to that hip. I'm gonna really squeeze, focus my attention, see if I can get 4 more out of it. I can get it back into the right space. Last 2. And then last 1. And a roll over. Give yourself that stretch, that figure 4 stretch, crossing that ankle over the other knee and releasing through. If you want, you can always chest lift up, pull it on in this way. Find the release in that nice good chest lift position. If you'd rather set the head down and you have the flexibility, you can pull it in a little closer. But as you can see, my hip is relatively tight and it doesn't want to stretch with my head down. All right, let's go ahead and switch. Even out the other side. Shoulders back and down, chin drawn in. Remember, chest lifts, you should always feel at the front of the neck and not at the base of the skull. If you do feel it in the base of the skull, give yourself that double chin. Come up a little bit more at the rib cage. Don't leave that chin out there hanging. Let's go, last good deep breath. And let's go ahead and rock ourselves up to that seated position. And excellent job today, guys. Thank you so much for spending time with me and working through all of the imbalances of your body. Thank you for practicing your self-care. You're worth it. Bye, and I'll see you at episode 17.